Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Well, things are heating up, that's for sure. We found this opportunity, and we're working for it.
My man.
Tulsa King. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
Being a cadet in Starfleet Academy means being open to the people around you.
I've spent my whole life getting away from stuff, letting someone in. That's hard.
I want to be captain. I need to be captain.
I owe you something.
Buenos dias, welcome into Morning Footy 48 Nations presented by Zillow. Someday starts today. I'm Claudia Pagan alongside Matteo Bonetti, Chris Whittingham, and Darian Jenkins. And I just learned as of 30 seconds ago that Chris Whittingham has a song about him. How did I go years of knowing you without knowing
It's my
this?
ringtone, actually. My alarm.
What he calls you?
Yeah, for everything, actually.
How about a wake-up alarm? Imagine
that, too.
It's everything.
How are we supposed to function today without a World Cup game on?
It feels weird, huh?
There are no
Change
games.
the subject.
There are no games today. What
Nice.
What are we supposed to do?
He's a pro. He's
I know, he is.
absolutely changing
What
the
are we
subject
supposed to do?
I don't know. What are we
I'm gonna go home later today, and I genuinely have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Get some laundry done, maybe do a little grocery shopping.
Spend time with your fiance, Chris. You haven't seen
That's
her.
fair.
That. Be a
Actually,
family man.
no, she's all in on the World Cup. She's completely bought in. I told her who Ivan Barton was, and she now wants to watch games refereed by Ivan Barton. So, yeah, we're all in our household.
Well, I think we needed a break after the matches that we saw yesterday, especially the early game, Egypt versus Argentina. What a comeback that was for Argentina. Listen, we don't see very many comebacks in World Cup history when a team is down 2-0. Argentina did it yesterday. What was it? In 15 minutes or less, they scored 3 goals to overtake Egypt and take them down 3-2. Before 2018, the last time that had happened was all the way in 1966. So incredible on Argentina's side of things. So let's take a listen to what Messi spoke about after the match, speaking on what this comeback victory showed about his team.
Sí, yo lo dije muchas veces y lo repito seguido. Este es un equipo que compite, que deja siempre el máximo, que no se entrega nunca, que no baja los brazos. Por eso consiguió todo lo que consiguió. Y hoy una muestra más de carácter, de orgullo, de querer, de intentarlo. Y bueno, la verdad que muy feliz, orgulloso por todo este grupo que demuestra día a día que siempre lo intenta.
So I'm not really sure what to make of Argentina, especially in the last 2 games where they're either down or the team that they're facing is really just giving it to them and you don't know who's going to win until the very end. Darian, do you think that this is sustainable for Argentina to make it come down to the very, very end, the final minutes for them to win a game? Or is this just truly what a champion does?
I think this is what a champion does. I think that this is what separates a good team from a great team. We saw it with the U.S. unable to sustain and ride the wave of momentum throughout a game, and Argentina was able to do that. They were able to come back, score in the waning minutes, get back from a deficit, and we've seen the top teams be able to do that. England being one of them as well. Morocco's come back. The teams that have stayed in it have faced these challenges and are able to overcome it. And I think, I said the other day on the show as well, when you have games like this where it's so emotional, it's so heavy, you're having to claw back life and limb on the line for 90-plus minutes, that's what gives you an edge going forward. You look back at matches like this, moments like this, where either it's a last-ditch tackle, a shot, a finish, whatever it's going to be, Messi missing the penalty and everybody corralling around him. That's what a championship team does. So I absolutely think it's sustainable. I just think it gives them an extra edge going forward that they were able to do it.
I have a hard time finding many positives, except with Lionel Messi. He scored in every single game for Argentina. The one game he doesn't start, he comes off the bench and he scores. If it can't be Messi plus 10. Messi comes on, Messi starts. Messi's the one that's gotten Argentina here. I've seen a team against Cabo Verde and against Egypt that, for the other than Messi, look tired, look sometimes like they don't have any ideas, look like they're capitulating at the back, look like they're really susceptible to the counterattack with teams with pace. I'm seeing a lot of things that worry me now that they're playing a better opposition in Switzerland. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point, from what I've seen the last two games, I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't go through against Switzerland, because it just hasn't been good enough, aside from Lionel Messi, who's been, the GOAT, and he's playing like that, and he's about to turn 40 in 2 years' time. It's unbelievable what he's doing.
I think over the course of the 90 minutes, they played reasonably well, I thought, yesterday against Egypt. I thought they played a good game.
Against Egypt.
Yeah, but they got hit in transition twice, which I think is definitely the biggest flaw in the team right now. I think the fullback areas and transition defense is the number one area where they're struggling. And by the way, for as much as Messi adds so much in the attack, he does subtract a little bit defensively. You do not have the same ability to press from the front when he's the one leading the line. So there is absolutely that sort of flaw that the rest of the team has to account for. But I actually thought I was a little bit less worried about the performance against Egypt than I was against Cabo Verde, despite the fact they were 2-0 down. They got hit on the break twice. I thought they largely played well, and I thought ultimately the game deserved for Argentina to win. But I think there are definitely worrying sides. The only side in this tournament that hasn't shown any flaws is France. Everyone else has shown something, some kind of vulnerability that you think will eventually be their undoing. For Argentina, it is their defense in transition. But I thought in the overall, to your point, Darian, that was sort of the response of champions. That was what they do. And ultimately, in a knockout tournament, it's about winning. It's about getting to the next game.
And I think as well, when you look at this, it's not just no team's going to play a perfect match every single game, but I think it was a gritty team win. That's when you're going to get to a final. That's why you're the reigning champions of this tournament. And I think looking forward, yes, maybe it's not ugly. Yes, they haven't played the best. They're very much rely on Messi, sure, but other players did step up.
Especially for the winning goal.
Yes.
Messi's not involved in it at all.
100%. Whether it's defensively or in the attack, who needs to score? The responsibility flared out from Messi in the match, in my opinion.
Yeah, on the defensive side of things, Matteo, this is the first time since 2016 that in back-to-back games, Argentina has allowed 2 goals at least in their games. Is there a way that you see Switzerland being able to capitalize on those, shall I say, maybe flaws that we've been seeing in the last 2 games?
It's going to be the same issue. Switzerland have pace. They have pace in the wide areas through Dan Ndoye, down the middle through Brilliant Bolo. Yet to see what happens with Yohan Manzambi, who missed Switzerland's game against Colombia, but he's been one of the better players of the tournament, probably a breakout star in the tournament, playing just behind the striker. So Switzerland are a team that they don't have a Galactico, they don't have a Messi, they don't have anything close to it, but what they do have is a team full of European players who play at a high level in Europe, that are used to going up against some of the best players in the world, that are very professional. They might not have the exotic flair of Colombia, but they've been getting the job done very quietly. And this is what I worry about when it comes to Argentina, because Argentina's backline, and again, I said it, it's Messi plus 10. Where's Lautaro Martinez? Where's Julian Alvarez? The backline, I think, is Cristian Romero at the back. When has he ever inspired confidence that he's not going to get a red card? You can look at every single player right now and see a little bit of a flaw aside from Messi. And again, okay, he doesn't press. He doesn't need to. He's saved them. Sure. He's gotten them here because he's Messi, because he's the greatest of all time. But I really worry about them going through against Switzerland.
I don't. I think
nothing about the last 2 games showed you any worry.
I'm not worried at all about Switzerland. I think Switzerland, especially without Manzambi, they've looked blunt. I thought they were second best against Colombia yesterday, and Colombia just didn't put away their chances. They go to a penalty shootout and they win the game. I think Argentina might look more comfortable playing against Switzerland than they did against Egypt and Cabo Verde. I really do. I think this is going to be a comfortable progression for Argentina to the next stage of the tournament.
Even though we haven't been seeing too much from other Argentinian players besides Messi, are you as confident, Darian, as Witty is in this Argentine side against Switzerland?
I don't know if I'm as confident as Witty is, but I do think that, I have Argentina winning this game. I just think the flair, the speciality that they have with Messi on the pitch, and even when he's not doing that much, the threat of Messi even kind of lurking, walking around affects the game. It affects how you defend it. It moves the organization of whoever the opponent is that they're playing, and I think that's a big advantage for Argentina, whereas you look at Switzerland, it's not the same. Yeah, they're going to play great as a team, of course. It's not going to be flashy. It's not going to be the sexy football that we love to sit and talk about some of these stars, but they are going to make it difficult. I still think it's going to be a tough game, but I do think Argentina have the X factor that gets them into the next phase.
I don't know if they promised you a parishada after this, Chris. I cannot believe that you said you're not worried at all. Here's my biggest worry, and this is a huge if. If Switzerland or if any other team is able to shut down Messi, where Messi doesn't influence the game, where he doesn't score, who do you trust in that front line from what we've seen in this tournament and what we've seen in some other big games? I'm not talking about you, Lautaro. Actually, yes, I am. Who do you trust to get the job done, to be there, to rescue them when everything's going up against them? Because it was Messi who had a split second to score that goal that he rifled into the top corner. He's pulling rabbits out of a hat every single game, and there's not one other player that I've seen in this tournament that inspires me any confidence. If Messi's taken out of the game, which guy there can I rely on every game? That's my biggest worry.
No, I think it's a real worry. As to me, the biggest issue so far has been the performance of Alvarez up front. He's been leading the line. He's the one that before the tournament started is going to be 150 million or 200 million to Real Madrid or Barcelona. These transfer rumors that are surrounding him and putting him up on this pedestal as one of the great players, and he has been a very good player for Atletico, particularly in the Champions League. But I don't think he's quite delivered it. I still think he can. I think Enzo Fernandez has had a good tournament so far and is capable of being a good player. And I think while they are missing Di Maria, who is definitely the biggest miss from the last World Cup, I still think that the team is performing well enough. And I don't think, for what you're saying, can you shut down Messi? No one can. We've been having the conversation, can you shut down Messi, for 20 years, and it hasn't happened yet. So I just don't think that Switzerland are going to.
To that point as well, I thought this when you said that. Even if Messi's having a bad game, can you shut him down? His presence.
He had a bad game yesterday. He had a bad game yesterday for 70 minutes.
He did, I agree. But his presence just causes doubt on everybody around him. I don't think he even has to do that much.
Yeah, in our YouTube comments, because we are live on YouTube, someone said that Argentina will win the World Cup. It's a fact. And someone else talking about Messi saying 20 years from now, football will be still talking about Messi. Records can be broken, but greatness like
Claudia,
that, he is one of a kind.
They said 20 years? In 100 years? In 500 years from now.
The greatest of all time.
We just showed a graphic of Jairzinho and Just Fontaine from God knows how long ago. Yeah. Messi in 2500 will be talking about Lionel Messi. This is unbelievable.
15 goals in just this World Cup and the last World Cup alone. And in his first 4, he only had 6 goals, which
he was scoring as a teenager with a mullet. Now he's got gray stubble. It looks like the craziest thing to me is, yes, he's playing every game. Again, he doesn't have to press, but he is playing as good as we've ever seen him in this tournament.
Yeah, he is both the youngest and oldest goal scorer for Argentina at the World Cup. But listen, we can't talk about this game moving forward for Argentina and Switzerland without maybe talking, Darian, about that game between Argentina and Egypt a little bit more, because of course one of the biggest controversial things is everything that was going on with calls not being made, VAR being called into question, and all of this stuff. I don't know what you make of the game that we saw yesterday, and especially that VAR ruling with Egypt's goal being called back.
This is tough to me because I thought Egypt were the better team for 70-plus minutes. And if we're calling that foul early on I can't remember, can't recall who it was.
It was Lisandro Martinez who got fouled.
Martinez who got fouled. Why aren't you also calling that on Mo Salah? That's the same foul. I think the foul is BS. We're nitpicking things that just happen in a game. You get clipped up all the time. But if we're going to call that, you have to call the one on Mo Salah as well. So I think there's huge inconsistencies in refereeing, how we're using VAR, how far you can go back when a play is continued on. Why are you not going back when a play has continued on and it results in a goal? I have a lot of questions about that, as I know pretty much everybody does that's analyzing this game and the refereeing throughout this entire tournament. But Argentina fought. They fought until the waning minutes. This was a massive win, and especially overcoming Messi missing another penalty. It is huge. And what that does for your team mentally, and to see them be able to overcome that, I think is where Argentina has the edge. That's, again, what I said earlier. That separates a good team from a great team. How do you overcome the things that maybe don't go your way? that's what's going to get you moving forward.
So we were debating this behind the scenes for like 30 minutes, and we could have gone on about this whole play because it's drawn a lot of controversy, right? I think what we can all agree on, it was a foul. It was a foul, and it was technically the start of a play. Where I struggle with it, and maybe this is more conceptual, is there was 4 or 5 different areas that counterattack could have been stopped.
Yes.
So what constitutes the beginning? Is it the first time you get in possession? How far back does it go? Because there were so many other moments where Argentina could have tried to win the ball back. You know, this went back 20 seconds. So it almost felt like, it's like, right, let's see. And granted, that was something that wasn't spotted at the time, but it went back so far. And I think that's not what VAR was brought in to do. Now suddenly you're looking at a goal, you're thinking, man, was there something that happened 20 seconds ago that maybe could have taken this back? We're already wondering after every goal, was it offside? Now we have the millimeter line, and it's kind of changed the enthusiasm, right, of when a goal goes in, Chris.
Yeah, I think when you look at the overall prism of the game, I thought that was the correct decision. And I appreciate that sometimes this World Cup, especially with the offside technology that you mentioned, has produced decisions that are anti-fun, but they're correct, right? And I think sometimes you do have to separate a little bit that this isn't about the most fun thing. I do think that VAR in the overall has a problem with taking things away rather than adding. We're not adding goals. We're only taking them off. But I completely agree with Darian's point. I think that decision to disallow the goal was correct. I also think Egypt got a second goal afterwards, but that has to be a penalty at the end of the game.
100%.
Even though it wasn't quite the same level of contact, it's still contact on the boot as Mo Salah's trying to fight through the penalty area. That has to be a penalty. That would have been a 94th minute penalty that Egypt would have gotten, and Argentina would have had 3 minutes to equalize the game. And I think it also comes in the overall prism of Argentina over the course of the last 2 World Cups have gotten 8 penalties. The next closest team is England on 4. So they've gotten twice as many penalty kicks as any team in the World Cup since the start of the last one. So I think it is an overall context of there is this feeling that Argentina always seemed to have the rub of the green with the officiating.
Always.
And that, I think, has upset a lot of people.
Final third. They also have more touches in the final third than most teams.
Of course.
So it all comes with nuance. Just
Messi.
like people say about Barcelona, oh, they have more penalties. Yeah, but they're in your own final third most of the game, so they have more chances to create penalties, too.
But there is still this feeling, and it leads to the conspiratorial part of the internet. Oh, is Argentina being favored? Is Messi being favored? The appearance of it doesn't look great. The biggest decision of the game goes against Egypt on one hand, from them scoring a goal, and then the biggest decision of the game at the end of the game also goes against Egypt. And while refereeing is not meant to be equitable in terms of you get 50% of the calls. You get 50% of the calls, there is still just this feeling that it's always Argentina that get the calls.
Yeah, we're going to need a good therapy group after the World Cup is done for us and our frustrations over some inconsistencies over VAR calls. But for right now, we are going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coverage coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated. If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back. Well, now that we are down to the quarterfinals of the 2026 World Cup, we are going to continue on with our World Cup bracket. So we are putting you guys to the test and putting you guys in the hot seat, which we know is our favorite thing to do here on the network. So Mateo, tallest guy, gets to go first. So go ahead.
There we go. France, Morocco, France. That is going to be one hell of a rivalry, especially in France. Huge Moroccan population over there. Spain, Belgium. I like Spain to take on France. And then I like France, the best team in the tournament, the one that I've seen no flaws in, to go all the way in the final.
Okay. All right, I like that. And then continue on. Let's go to the other side and see who you have matching up.
Other side, Norway, England, I think is going to be really close. Haaland knows these defenders so well. We saw what he did with Gabriel against Brazil. He absolutely destroyed him. But England go through. I love what they showed. They showed some English garra, that English grit that I love, which I didn't know was a thing at the Azteca. Argentina, Switzerland. I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to say that Switzerland pull off one of the big upsets. Okay. I am not happy with what I've seen for Argentina, but that is the end of the Switzerland fairy tale, because it is going to be England. The fans are going to be chanting, "It's coming home." Sorry, English fans, it's not coming home, because France is going to win the final. France-England, really good final as well. A lot of great subplots. Mbappe, he's going to win, he's going to score, he's going to get the Ballon d'Or as well.
Do you think you can go home to your wife who's from England after picking France over England in the final?
Look, I don't care anymore. After Italy didn't make the World Cup, I do not care. I am so dead inside. I don't care who I piss off. I don't care who I frustrate. France is going to beat England. England went to the final, but that's just what they do. They lose finals. Yeah. They lost against Italy in the Euros. They're going to lose this one against France.
All right, Darian, so you got to follow up this act. I don't think you have anyone at home to piss off, so you make your picks however you want.
That was a bit of a cheap shot.
yeah, you got no one at home. You're alone. I'm just saying. Not what I meant. My cheers. Let's go into this bracket then.
Just bring out some skeletons from the closet.
I don't know where she's getting her info. Mateo and I are the same on the left side. France, Morocco. France is going through. I've been such a fan of the way that they've played and no weaknesses, especially after the match against Paraguay. Spain, Belgium, Spain going through. I expect Lamine Yamal to have another incredible game. And so I have France and Spain over here, and France in the final. And then on the other side, Norway, England. I got to see Haaland live with Norway, and he's just exceptional, but I don't know if the rest of Norway is ready for what England can bring. I don't know if every line they have that X factor that England does. So I have England going through, and then Argentina. This is where I disagree. I think Argentina has that in them from that last match.
Fine.
They're going to go through, topple England, and we're going to have a rematch of the final with France and Argentina, with France winning it. And I love the Mbappe Ballon d'Or shout. I agree with that.
All right. I'd like to hear that. Okay, 2 for 2 for France. Whitty, are you going to go away from what the other two said, or do you have something different? Let's see what you have.
Yeah, it's one of those where I was thinking about this and I was thinking about the bracket. I like to pick crazy things. I pick Austria to beat Spain, which was moronic in retrospect. But I like to go for big ones. I just think this has kind of been the tournament of the things that we want to happen, the things that are fun to happen, to not happen. So I think we kind of got to go chalk for the rest of the way. So I agree with everyone. I can see Morocco doing it against France, but I don't know. France is just so hard to pick against them. Spain, I think, are comfortably better than Belgium. I think they'll beat them in that quarterfinal. This was actually the one that I debated the most internally as being the upset. Norway have been so good at this tournament. On the body of evidence that we've seen at this tournament so far, Norway are as good as England. England are coming off that crazy game at the Azteca with all the crazy conditions. That game is kicking off at 5 p.m. in Miami. Mateo, you're from Miami. I'm from Miami. 5 p.m. These two teams can't handle this. These two teams can't handle this.
Thunderstorms,
humidity, heat. Norway and England, get ready for some sunburn. But I'm still going England. I'm going England to win. I couldn't quite get there. And then I have Argentina, as I said earlier, to comfortably beat Switzerland. I think this will actually be an easier game for them. So I have Argentina in the semifinal. And I gave the production team a bracket before the show, and I don't remember what I picked, but I believe I picked England against France, with France winning it all.
These would be two amazing semifinals, by the way.
Yeah.
The star power.
Yeah.
Yamal, Mbappe, Kane, Bellingham, Messi. This would be a dream for the TV rights holders, for the views, for the talking points. I'm surprised no one has Spain edging out France, just with the way they play. How much of the ball is France going to keep? That's something I'm going to be looking out for. Could be Spain sneaking their way. Well, sneaking their way. I think they were seen as one of the preseason favorites.
Yeah, they were the pre-tournament favorites. The thing with Spain is they just haven't shown the attacking firepower, and France are the only team that have yet to demonstrate a weakness.
Oh, Yapsabal has a goal a game last 15 games. He just quietly does it, though.
Yeah.
But he's not a big name because he plays out Real Sociedad.
I'm surprised that out of the three of you, none of you picked Norway over England. Was there any little bit in you that wanted to pick them?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Definitely for all of us.
Yeah, I absolutely did. But to me, if Norway doesn't have Holland, if Holland maybe doesn't have the best game, who else?
Okay.
And England, you can rely on, I think, a plethora of players, as opposed to Norway.
Norway have had some good players in this tournament. Sheldrup and Oscar Bob had some good performances in the last game. Musa has been good. But I think ultimately the World Cup is a tournament of blue bloods. It's a tournament of teams who have been there and done that. There have only been 8 teams that have ever won it. And usually when it's an underdog who has not been there before against one of the all-time global favorites, usually that favorite wins. And so that's just kind of what you have to rely upon. But yeah, I would love to pick Norway over England. I just couldn't get there.
Well, here's what SofaScore has predicted. So they predict France and Spain going. They predict England and Argentina going.
France has the biggest favorites in this round is wrong.
Yeah.
France is the biggest favorites in this round is wrong to me. I don't see France as the biggest favorite in this round. I see it as Spain. And I think Morocco, if you're only giving them a 40% chance to win, and again, France have been spectacular. I don't know what their weakness is. Morocco are going to have moments in that game. Morocco are going to give France a difficult game. They're going because we know France like to give away possession sometimes and say, we'll defend for a bit, you have it for a bit. I can see Morocco giving them a real challenge.
Really quickly, Morocco awful against Canada in the first half, and no Saibati, they're a big striker from the tournament.
Yeah.
He's gone down injured, the new Bayern Munich player. That's a huge loss.
Yeah, someone saying there's no such thing as a sensible bracket. They're all predictions, not facts.
I wish you were all so kind.
Yes.
I wish you were all so kind.
So yeah, I mean, literally anything can happen, and I can't even reaction. I can't even say like anything can happen from this point. Anything, as we saw from the very first match of the World Cup, literally anything could have happened from start to finish of this World Cup. But okay, so looking at now, we have made it to the last 8 teams. 6 of them, Mateo, are from UEFA. Do you feel like maybe that is a wake-up call for other confederations after getting to this point and seeing this?
There's been a saying, and again, I don't subscribe to it, but the saying is that the Euros is basically the World Cup missing Brazil and Argentina. Now, that's only if you're talking about truly the top nations. What this World Cup did with 48 teams is introduce and gave huge chance to all these teams that would have never made it before when it was 12 less teams, right? That's why we had the Cape Verdes. They weren't there just to make up the numbers. They actually gave us a great storyline. So I actually like this expanded World Cup. But at the end, guys, the football's played on the field. Some teams have an easier route to get to the World Cup. Maybe if you're in Asia, the quality of teams is lesser, so you play lesser opposition. Then you get to this stage, you test yourself against the best teams in the world, and that's exactly what we've seen happen. The best teams advance. It's terrible for me that Brazil, who is the color of football, are not in this competition. But at the end, the best teams overall, it's Argentina, Brazil, and then the rest, 4, 5, 6 teams, all from Europe.
What do you guys think other federations are thinking now?
The World Cup is massively lesser for it. I really do. I think what Mexico brought to this tournament, what Colombia brought to this tournament from a fan standpoint, from the U.S. to so many teams, the best fan groups of this tournament largely came from the Americas. The Norwegians have been great. The Scots have been great. But this tournament, for me, has been special because of what the Americas brought to it. And I'm not saying that it's bad necessarily that the European teams won. They won on the field. As you said, they are the ones who got it done. The thing that frustrates me is that right now, the elite environments in club football, where, let's be honest, the lion's share of development is done, are in Europe. And so what needs to happen is either one of two things. Either teams in the Western Hemisphere need to say, we need to send all of our young players to Europe to actually learn what it's like to play in a real legitimate environment, or you need to create elite environments in your own country. Yeah. Liga MX needs to create elite environments. The Brasileirão needs to create elite environments. The Argentinian League, MLS needs to create an elite environment so that Europe is not the only place where that happens. And I really do feel like the game is on the brink of globalization, where it happens everywhere, not just in Europe. But right now, Europe is the dominant confederation, and all the other confederations have to respond, because I think these tournaments are lesser for, not to overly bag on them, teams like Belgium and Switzerland, who have not brought much to the tournament from a fan standpoint, are bringing it on the field. We need to see Mexico, the United States, even Argentina, for the fact that they're here, they need to step up as well. Brazil, Colombia, all the big teams in the western part of the world have to get much better youth development and on the field at senior level.
I'm looking at the African nations to step up. I think that this expanded format is brilliant. I love it. I'm a big fan of it. And to see the fans, the culture, what this is going to do moving forward, I think this is going to be very, very different by the next time the World Cup comes around, because it shows that Africa is here to play. Africa is here to stay. And it's just having that time to actually develop and then put together full 90-minute performances. But I do think that this is probably one of the last times we will see completely European domination in that.
Yeah, we definitely saw the gap closing this World Cup so far. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here. Much more Golazo Network 48 Nations coverage coming up on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated. If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Well, it is day 29 of 41 on Nico Cantor's coast-to-coast RV trip, and he's made his way back up the Northeast, and he's been gracious enough to bring the RV to the studio and join us here in Stamford. Well, Nico, you have traveled, 8,000 miles since starting off your journey in LA?
Track.
I'm keeping track. All I need now is the Nico watch. I need like an air tag or something on the RV so I know exactly where you are. But we've all been following your journey. How has it been going so far for you? You still look pretty refreshed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, now that I've been in New York for a little while, got to sleep in my own bed for a couple of days, it does refresh you. You know, I got a nice little hint of refreshment in Miami at my parents' house. My wife was there, and then now I'm back in New York. It's fun. Just having the World Cup at home has been a blessing.
What have you truly learned about football fandom? Because you obviously know a lot, but you have gotten to be on the grounds across the entire country.
I'll tell you one thing, and this is just for the United States in general. You hear about the United States being diverse. You hear about, other cities throughout the country. There's some that I hadn't been to, properly, gotten to discover it. I'm from Miami. I live in New York. I understand the diversity. But when you really go out there, you really see the magnitude of the diversity of the United States. We are this incredible mosaic of people from all around the world. A lot of people, I would say the large majority of those people, proud to be here, proud to live in a place where you can celebrate your culture in a country that allows that celebration to happen and not have to dilute that. So I think it's something beautiful. And that's all brought out even more during the World Cup.
And there are sort of multiple branches of that. There is the branch which is there are people that don't normally consume football that are now experiencing this. But as you say, there are these people that are in these communities already that maybe even people from within, let's say, Kansas City, Seattle, don't even know that there are these sort of micro communities that are in their city. And then, oh my God, there's this explosion whenever their team plays in the World Cup.
Kansas City was crazy.
Yeah.
I did not expect to see what I saw in Kansas City. I didn't know it was that
Blow
diverse.
you away. It really has.
The amount of Mexican fans, the amount of Croatian fans, there's Balkan immigrants, and I'm talking about second gen at this point. This was in New York, in Argentina. This is with the Paraguay fans. And a lot of these people are Paraguayan Americans from around this area and so proud, and they can gather in numbers. The England fans are Norwegians in Seattle, out of all places. There was Norwegian immigrants from the early 1900s that went there for fishing and whatnot, and they said, wow, this reminds me of home. Let's stay. And now there's third-gen Norwegians in Seattle. These crazy stories about immigrants, and ultimately, that's the story of us. It's a big part of our American story. So, you come to 4th of July, I was in Philly, and you reflect on what makes you proud to be an American. Everybody has a different answer. This is what makes me proud to be an American.
Beautifully said. So before the show, you told me that some people asked, are you Mateo? And I get asked all the time,
really?
Are you Nico Cantor, even in my town? So I'm assuming these might be some casuals. So I want to ask you about the casuals. Do you think, from what you've seen in your travels, that we're getting a lot of people converted full-time into soccer, not just because of what the U.S. is doing, but because of the storylines, the star power, the great games that we've had, and the Capo Verdes of the world? So many storylines took in the casuals.
100%. Are you guys not having these conversations with your non-soccer friends all the time?
Completely.
This hasn't happened at other World Cups, and obviously that's, I think, because the World Cup is on our soil, and there's a certain feeling of ownership about this World Cup from the casuals, from the non-soccer fans. I have a group chat with a cousin of mine who likes soccer per osmosis because he's part of the family, but he grew up in a more American lifestyle, and I went to his bachelor party, and that bachelor party group chat is very much alive, and it's mostly American. I'm the most diverse person in that group chat. it's only about soccer.
Yeah.
And we're
That's
talking,
awesome.
and they're asking, and they're super into it. But I think the star power is what gets them there, right? Argentina coming back down from 2-0. Haaland doing what he does against Brazil. Kylian Mbappe being at his best. It's gritty. It's showtime. It's Hollywood. It's exciting. The World Cup is exciting, even in the expanded format. The round of 32 was really fun to watch. You just get another stage of knockout stage football. People like that when you're pitted, to the brink. That gets the best, and perhaps in some cases the worst out of some national teams.
And of course, there's been so many incredible stories for all these nations. Of course, people here in America have been tuned in a lot to how the U.S. men's national team did. What do you make of the performance that they had against Belgium? And do you think the fact that they exited out in the round of 16 will maybe hurt a little bit in terms of the growth, the continued growth in the country?
Yeah, I do think it'll hurt, especially for those casuals, bringing them in. This is not about, resting on these moral victories and kumbaya and, oh, they played well in the first couple of games. This was supposed to be so much more, and we all painted it out to be so much more without a shadow of a doubt. A round of 16 exit with a very similar feeling to our last exits is not what this World Cup was meant to be for the men's national team. We beat the teams that we were supposed to beat, and we lost to the teams that we were supposed to lose to.
Did you feel like the moment got to them? Because I saw a team where they knew 50, 60, 70 million people. They were talking about these crazy figures. They're starting to compare to the Super Bowl. Suddenly, all those casuals that we've been talking about got into the USMNT. They saw some really good performances, especially the Paraguay game. And then you get to this game, and it's almost like these casuals came away with it thinking, we're just nowhere near.
Yeah.
We're sending our D-tier athletes, which I hate hearing that, is right. You just convert LeBron James to
that
soccer.
conversation, I think that one of our best athletes, we can have that conversation later, because I don't think that's the issue right here now. If we're talking about like people being turned away from the team, I do think those casuals that always in the back of their mind had heard, the women are so good, but the men are so far off of it. And then you put in that type of performance that you walk away and it's embarrassing, it's pathetic, and a casual says, that's who we are. We go up against a European team that's decent, and they wipe the floor with us in that manner. At least Mexico against England went down swinging. They lost at the same stage, but they went down swinging with one hell of a fight. We just bent the knee. And it was just so sad how they just gave in so easy for Belgium. And, for us that, we're here every single day talking about the men's national team, we understand the nuance of why football doesn't progress in this country. Imagine what a person who's just watching the U.S. feels and is like, oh, well, those first couple of performances are a sham, they might think. Because when the cookie crumbled, when the pressure got hot, they caved, they collapsed. And again, it's the manner in which you collapse. It looked pathetic.
And I think as well, the other thing too, you were around for some of those group stage matches. You were in Los Angeles. You were in
Seattle.
Seattle.
Seattle was the best atmosphere I've ever seen at a U.S. game. I hadn't been to Columbus, but Seattle was amazing.
I went to the game against Belgium in Seattle, and I thought it was a great atmosphere until I think the entire crowd kind of realized that they were there to watch the second best team in the game. But I think that's sort of the more disappointing part of it is it was a build. It was a crescendo. I got carried away. I thought that I said 5 minutes before the game, I think Belgium are ready to quit. And yet it was the United States who looked more ready to quit in that game. It really is so disappointing in comparison to what it had built up to.
Yeah, and can I tell you something? I've seen a lot of, I'm so proud of this team and how it united the country. Guys, this is not the time to be proud when you underperformed on the stage that you were supposed to smash all the expectations. We have to be angry. We have to be massively disappointed. We got out of the group stage. We always get out of the group stage. Sometimes we don't, actually. But the group, we didn't have a powerhouse in our group. We didn't have a signature win. This was the bare minimum the U.S. could have done. And it's not the time to be proud. I think if you feel proud from this performance, if you really love football and you really want to see this sport and the men's national team progress in this country, bring in new fans, you have to be angry. You have to be disappointed. You have to call out players individually. There's no leaders on this team. And that's what gets to me. I don't think there's very little to be proud on. And I think there's the first couple of performances that, yeah, sure, it generated hype. But the U.S. doesn't make you proud because you got out of the group stage. We have sports teams that make us proud because we win. And I'm not asking this team to win the World Cup, but bare minimum, exceed expectations, please.
So then I'm curious to know what you think about the way Mauricio Pochettino handled all of this afterwards.
Yeah.
Afterwards, saying a bunch of stuff to the media, but in particular right here, he says, for me, I'm so proud because in 1 year, this team showed that we can play football and we can compete and that we need to keep improving. We have a lot of young players with a lot of potential and a generation of young kids that come behind. It's only about keeping believing in that process.
Yeah.
And our own Tony Meola actually spoke about what he made of these comments. So let's first take a listen to what Tony had to say.
We've always had players like this. We've always had them. Let's face it, man, right? They play at bigger clubs, yeah, because they got more opportunities. We've had these same players. We've had young players coming through the system. If you look at our youth national teams, and don't get me started on where I think that should go, we're good at the youth national team level. We always have prospects coming up. We always have this. We always have the same setup. What we're looking for is at the national team level to go to the next level, right? So what Poach said, Bora said, Bruce Arena said, Bob Bradley said, none of this is new to anybody. None of it is new. If the guy wants to stay, I'll be the first guy to get 100% behind him. But don't sell me a bag of this stuff.
I agree with Tony to the degree where did Poch leave U.S. soccer, the U.S. men's national team, in a better place in which he found it? Maybe a little bit. Is he proud? Yes. What's he going to say? He's the coach of the national team that underperformed, right? He does have to take a little bit of the blame here. But to me, I think there's a deeper cultural issue with this team not having any leaders. Who's that guy that's going to be infectious that when it gets tough, you look to him and he's the one that is going to guide you through the storm? Take a look at Paraguay. I don't think Paraguay are a particularly exceptional football team. They took France down to the wire.
They eliminated Germany.
They have a leader in the backline called Gustavo Gomez, who's a captain. They have an identity. You know what you're going to get from Paraguay when it gets tough. They're not going to be easy to beat. They're not going to be any pushover. Look at Argentina, down 2-0. I know I'm comparing apples with oranges here, but give me 10% of that fight. We talk about grinta all the time on this show.
Yeah, garra, grinta, Pulisic.
Oh. The body language,
look,
man.
I know that not everyone can be that rah, rah, rah. Some people just have different personalities.
I asked for
right?
one guy.
Pulisic, I twisted my ankle. We've seen the Jordan flu game. I'm not saying he's Michael Jordan. We've seen athletes overcome, especially in the World Cup. But now this is a pattern where I see this guy. Feels like almost every game now he comes out with an injury. And then the body language, slumped over, nonchalant in the answers. And again, you can have that more timid, reserved personality. That's you, I respect it. But in that moment, I feel you have to feel what the moment is, feel what the nation is asking of you, exactly how Nico said, without we cannot be proud. And I saw a guy who's supposed to be Captain America, right, who's on every commercial. He's the face of this USMNT, whether he likes it or not, slumped over, nonchalant, completely disinterested. I was repulsed by that.
Woody, why do you feel like we're not producing world-class players? We hear everything about the youth system that we have here in America and what Tony had to say. I know. Unfortunately, you've got like a minute or two to be able to give me a full answer for that.
I mean, honestly, the thing that's so wild is like the number of countries that have seemingly tripped into world-class players. We don't even have like Kavica Kvaratskhelia. The nation of Georgia has produced a world-class player. The state of Georgia has not. Yeah. And it just is wild to me. I think it's insane to me, I think, when you just look at it on just a luck basis. Just we haven't tripped into someone. But I think there are a number of systemic problems which we could talk about. And I think we should at some point talk about all day, just in terms of, you know, the pay-to-play system, how financially difficult it is for players to survive through youth soccer, through travel soccer, through the exorbitant cost. I think the sort of the level of coaching, I think when you get, not even just at the national, we can talk about Pochettino. Yeah. What kind of coaching are 12-year-olds getting? What kind of environments are, because I really do think, and Tony said it there, in youth national teams, in academy soccer, there is this sort of idea of, yeah, we're good, there's some good players, but what is that next step? What happens when, an FC Dallas under 14 team goes and plays Bayern Munich's under 14 team?
Yeah.
Bayern Munich don't just win in terms of the athleticism and the quality of the ball. It's up here. There has to be a cultural revolution. This World Cup is a huge part of it in terms of actually making kids want to go and play the sport.
Without a doubt.
Not just in an organized setting, but in an unorganized setting on the street with your friends. You want to go play the game because it's what you love to do. There isn't that cultural feeling of the game. There isn't that thinking of the game. There's so many reasons why, but I honestly am still floored that by accident we haven't done this.
Woody, and just by the sheer numbers out of all of this, right? And on this trip, what I've realized is that there's so many people from all around the world. You look at the French national team. It's a national team built on either the sons of immigrants or the grandchildren of immigrants. We have it in this country. That's something to be proud of. That is something uniquely American. By our history, call it whatever you want, it has led our country to be this beautiful mosaic about people from all around the world expressing their cultures. And why can't we do that on the football pitch? There is this massive filter that a lot of these kids that oftentimes are from underprivileged backgrounds because their parents come from another country looking for a better opportunity, and there's a sacrifice to a certain extent where they don't make enough money to give their kids that opportunity to play soccer because it's expensive to play soccer here. Whereas in other nations, their history has led them also to a very immigrant-heavy background, and they play into that. They're allowed to get that opportunity. We're not giving these kids from Mexico, from the Balkans, from Africa, from South America, an opportunity to shine.
Where are they in the national team? They're not there.
They are American. They are American. How many kids that are Mexican background speak English at home? Yeah. Or grandkids that have this talent, that have it in their blood because that's their culture, and they're allowed to express that culture here in the U.S.
This is definitely just scratching the surface of such a huge topic. Nico, thanks for joining us. I'd say enjoy the rest of your day, but I know you're going to try to sneak into another segment here soon. Just hang out in the back.
Kick me out now before it's too late.
All right, guys. Well, we have much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coverage coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy, everybody, presented by Zillow. Sunday starts today. Here are your latest headlines. We're going to start off with some World Cup news, and Zlatko Dalic has stepped down as Croatian head coach after 9 years in charge. Dalic has resigned after Croatia's round of 32 loss to Portugal on Thursday, and he led the Croatians to the 2018 World Cup final and a third-place finish in the 2022 tournament. The end of Croatia's World Cup also marked the end of the Luka Modric era, with the legendary midfielder also announcing his retirement from the national team. In other coaching news now, we head to the latest major club hiring, and Alvaro Arbeloa is going from Madrid to London as he was officially announced as Fulham's new head coach yesterday. Arbeloa replaces Marco Silva, who moved to Portugal to take charge of Benfica, and Silva replaced Jose Mourinho because he joined Real Madrid to take over from Arbeloa. Big circle there. Now, Arbeloa has signed a 3-year contract at Craven Cottage with Fulham, with the Fulham side who finished 11th in the Premier League last season. And his first Premier League match will be up against Chelsea and Xabi Alonso, the same man he replaced at Real Madrid. In some other World Cup news now, the Egyptian FA has filed a formal complaint against the officials who handled Egypt's stunning 3-2 loss to Argentina. Now, the FA issued a statement that said in part, quote, "The Egyptian Football Association cannot remain silent regarding the refereeing decisions witnessed during the match against Argentina, as well as the failure to make appropriate use of the VAR system." Several key incidents raised serious concerns and left profound questions about the consistency and fairness of decisions that directly influence the course of the game. And the Egyptian FA has called for the officials from yesterday's match to be sent home from the World Cup. Let's move over to some World Cup-related transfer news, and following Balogun's World Cup is over, but the transfer interest in the US men's national team striker is heating up, with several top clubs lining up to buy him. So according to multiple reports, PSG, Chelsea and Tottenham have emerged as clubs interested in signing the 25-year-old striker, who was being valued at $57 million before the World Cup. Now, Balogun scored 3 goals at the tournament as one of the biggest bright spots in the US men's national team's run to the round of 16, and is coming off a 19-goal season for Monaco. So everyone, that brings us to our expert guidance presented by Zillow. Sunday starts today. Now that we're seeing some bigger teams being linked to Balogun, let's give some guidance on his next club. Whitty, where would you like to see him go?
Well, I think you first have to start at a place where he's going to play, because I think we've seen so many players go for the biggest move rather than for the right move. And I think a player like Chris Richards, for instance, has really taken a step forward because Crystal Palace was the right place for his next development. So I think Monaco is one of those places where I honestly wouldn't mind him staying. I think it's one of those clubs that nurtures players really well. But if you are talking about a big move for him to go somewhere else, I think you look at places where maybe center forward is not the obvious strength. Tottenham is one of those clubs that he's been linked to. You look at what they have. They have Solanke and they have Richarlison. They can afford to upgrade. You can see Balogun potentially winning a spot there. But I think if you're just saying, oh, Barcelona because it's Barcelona, or Real Madrid because it's Real Madrid, where are you going to play? Where are you going to play in a system that suits you? And where are you going to play every single week? I actually think Barcelona is not a bad show in terms of a place for him to go where I think he could fit really well. So I think it's about not for the biggest wage packet, not for the biggest transfer fee for the club. What is the right place for you to continue your development?
PSG would be a disaster. They're just looking to replace Gonzalo Ramos that they just sold for $70 million.
Who was the backup?
AC Milan, who was the backup, who left because he wasn't getting time. Balogun's not going to start over Dembele, Doué, Cavada. Let's be totally honest there. I like the Spurs move a lot. Roberto De Zerbi, attacking system that favors strikers. I think that would be the perfect place for him. And also, coming off a terrible season, he could lead the line, lead them to getting back to Europe.
Yeah, interesting. I have someone in the comments saying best for him would be PSG. So I was about to ask you. I know.
Maybe for the money, maybe for his accountant, yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coverage coming up for you on the other side.
the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Well, American soccer is taking center stage this summer with the 2026 World Cup being played in the USA. And CBS Sports has a trio of documentaries that help tell the story of the sport in this country like no one else can. Take a look.
Soccer isn't a new game in the United States. The immigrants brought it here in 1912.
The opportunity to play for my country, I just could not pass that up.
We're all very proud of you.
Not everyone is aware of what happened in important historical moments for American soccer.
I was a kid that shouldn't have made it. Kid from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Clint Dempsey Doodle.
Kind of one of those things I wasn't going to be denied.
People criticize me often.
You can't take it seriously. It's the USA.
But I get to have that attention because I'm good.
We were carrying the weight of American soccer on our shoulders.
I'm gonna put it shot.
Probably unfair to 20 guys.
When he looks at you, he looks like he wants to kill you. And I have respect for that.
It's about how much are you willing to give to win.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
The USA has realized its dream.
Dempsey threw the ball in! What can this kid do?
Well, Paramount Plus is your one stop for the best documentaries in American soccer. You Don't Know Where I'm From, Dog. The story of Clint Dempsey is one of several docuseries, along with Pulisic, a 9-part docuseries that gives you a behind-the-scenes look into the life and story of U.S. star Christian Pulisic, and Billion Dollar Goal, a 3-part docuseries focused on the biggest game-changing moment in American soccer history. You can watch all 3 documentaries exclusively on Paramount Plus. We're going to take a quick break here. More Morning Footy, 48 Nations coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy. 48 nations in the Golden Boot race is still taking off. You see here Messi with 8, followed by Mbappe and Haaland with 7, and Harry Kane closely behind with 6. And of course, it wouldn't be Morning Footy unless we look ahead at some early predictions. And Chris, I know that we're going to go into your Ballon d'Or top 6 power rankings. But before we do that, we have the World Cup this year, obviously. How much more should that weigh into the Ballon d'Or?
I think we have two different questions here. Should versus does. I think does, in actuality, just go back to the last time that the Ballon d'Or was handed out after World Cup. It went to Lionel Messi because of what he did for Argentina. That club season for Paris Saint-Germain was pretty pedestrian. He was not very good at club level, but it was all handed out on the basis he eventually left to Inter Miami, and they handed out the award because of how well he performed in the World Cup. I think it should be a big part, but not the entire thing. So I think in actuality, the way that it plays out, it is absolutely about what you do with this World Cup. And usually the Ballon d'Or winner will come from the World Cup champion. Or as we saw with Rodri, from the Euros champion. It usually comes from the major international tournament winner.
Yeah, like look at when Italy won the World Cup. Who won the Ballon d'Or?
Cannavaro.
Fabio Cannavaro. What you do in the World Cup happens every 4 years. It's by far the biggest tournament in sport. Of course, that's going to have the major weighting. And what's interesting about that number of the Golden Boot race, Haaland was City. He didn't win the Premier League, right? Messi's halfway through his Inter Miami season with MLS. The players are not the players that we expect to win the World Cup, that are going to lead their team to the greatest trophy. It's not like they just had the best club season yet. Kylian Mbappe. The fans in Madrid were chanting for him to leave the club.
Right.
Started an online petition.
Despite him scoring a lot of goals, they were against him because of the attitude, the off-the-field stuff. So these are players that had maligned campaigns at the club level, but that now it feels like they're finally playing with a smile on their face. And I think Kylian Mbappe is no one's more apparent than Mbappe and the good vibes he's feeling with France.
Right.
And he's just playing with such a weight lifted off his shoulders compared to Real Madrid.
Yeah, well, the superstars are showing out in this tournament. So, Woody, you're going to take us through your top 6 Ballon d'Or power rankings, starting at number 6.
And I wanted to start at number 6 with a player who is not at the World Cup. I've gone for Kavica Kvaratskhelia because I still think, based on what he did in the Champions League with PSG winning it, that he deserves to be in a top 10 ballot. So, just because Georgia, for as much as we are expanding this tournament, maybe if we get to 64, Georgia has a chance of qualifying, but they probably are not going to. What they did at the Euros, they made a last 16. They look decent. Internationally is never where he's going to make his name. So the club game is going to have to carry the day. I still think he deserves to be in with a shout on the basis of what he did in the club game. So let's move then to number 5, and that's where we begin with players that are actually at the tournament. I've gone for Harry Kane as my number 5, and this is one where you could absolutely make a case that combining club performance with international performance, he deserves to be there. The reason why I have other players above him is that for England, Jude Bellingham has been the best player. And Jude Bellingham, again, you want to talk about players who were maligned with their club seasons. Jude at Real Madrid did not have a very good season, but he is the leader of that England team. And so I think Kane has actually seen a little bit his estimation drop in my perspective, even though he scored a lot of goals, but you scored from the penalty spot, is not necessarily dominating the tournament. He had that brilliant goal against DR Congo. So I put him at number 5 as a result.
If England were to win, Harry Kane, with what he did at Bayern Munich, I mean, the goals that he scored in all competitions with Bayern Munich is only goals that we've seen Messi at Barcelona and Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid score. We don't normally see players going over 60 goals, over 70 or 80 goals, assists combined. Like, these are mind-blowing numbers that Kane is putting. So if you had that season with Bayern Munich, you win the title, and then you win leading the line for England, score a few goals in the process, Harry Kane could go all the way up to number 1, Chris.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. I think in some ways, this all gets absolutely amplified if any of these teams, in the top 5 at least, Georgia not winning it, but if any of these players in the top 5 go on to win it, that is a level of exponential increase in sort of your profile. So let's go to number 4 then. I've gone for Messi at number 4 because, as you mentioned, we're midway through an MLS season. He is performing well, and we're also talking about winning an MLS Cup championship. But again, what does winning an MLS Cup championship mean through the prism of the Ballon d'Or ranking? I don't think it gets to the same level as Harry Kane winning the Bundesliga or Kylian Mbappe with Real Madrid. So I think if Argentina win the World Cup, he's number 1. He's been the best player at this tournament so far.
What if he wins the Lamar Hunt Trophy?
Right, well, they're not eligible, but maybe Leagues Cup is on for Inter Miami.
What about before the World Cup even began? Would Messi be in your top 6?
No, he wouldn't have been in my top 10. I don't think. Which probably is an oversight on my part. I might be underrating what he does week in and week out. And I think what he's done at this tournament serves to probably underrate what he does week in and week out. Because if he does it in MLS every week, and then he goes and does it at the World Cup every week, he is playing at this level every single week. So we should probably rate it on that basis. But obviously the Champions League is the prism through which we usually view the Ballon d'Or. So I have Messi at 4. But again, if they win, he's number 1. We move to number 3. I've gone for Erling Haaland at number 3. And again, you want to talk about lifting a team, lifting a country while also doing it. A player who probably is underrated at club level. And that's crazy to say because he led the Premier League in goal scoring. Yeah. I think he's underrated because we take for granted what he does now. The level of goal scoring is at such a ridiculous level, especially in England. England is not a place where having a 20-goal scorer is a common thing. It's difficult to get 20 goals in the Premier League. He makes it look easy. And then you take a side at this World Cup where Norway, I think on the basis of how bad they've been in qualifying for previous tournaments, for the Euros, for the World Cup, they haven't qualified for a tournament since the year 2000. And yet here they are now with him leading the way, scoring that goal against Brazil, the biggest goal you could argue in the history of Norwegian football to get them to a quarterfinal. He's put this team on his shoulders.
In the qualifiers, he had 16 goals in 8 matches.
Wow.
Those are not average of 2 goals per game is not normal. And it wasn't just against small teams. It was against Italy. Norway destroyed Italy. It's the reason why Italy are not at the World Cup. I love the Erling Haaland shout. It would be great. And I feel like he's been the big winner of the World Cup so far. He's hilarious on social media. People look at him and
the
they
Viking
see
row
this,
is great.
this phenotype of a Viking from thousands of years ago. I mean, everything about this guy at the World Cup is like blown up. I'm absolutely in love with the way he's playing. 1 touch, 1 goal. Love that simplicity.
Star power.
Deserves to be there purely on the basis of getting the entire team to start the Viking row after the game. It's a brilliant tradition. All right, number 2, and this is, I think, me balancing the club season more than the World Cup, is still Michael Olise. He was my number 1 coming into the tournament, and I still think he is playing well and has been central to what France do well this tournament. Doesn't quite have the level of goal scoring. We'll get to that with my number 1 in a second. But this, for me, is about what I watch every single week. I think he's right up there with one of the very best players in the world. Obviously, Messi sort of has that locked down until he relinquishes it. but I think Michael Olise is right up there. So while he has had a couple of moments where he should have scored, he has plenty of assists, and for as good as he was for Bayern Munich, he was my number one player coming into the tournament. I'm more than happy for people to say Haaland deserves to be above him, Messi deserves to be above him based on what we've seen at this World Cup, but I still think he's central to what France do, and I still think the best is yet to come for him at this tournament.
You know what's funny is that if this wasn't a World Cup year, Kvaratskhelia would be over there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Dembele won the World Cup. Won the Ballon d'Or after PSG won their Champions League. Now it's 2 Champions Leagues in a row. It just happens to fall in a World Cup year, and that's why, with the weight of the World Cup, we're seeing Kvara, who'd normally be 1 or 2, all the way at number 6. So you're really going with mostly the World Cup weight. Olise, though, he's starting for France. He's playing well for France. 5 assists, I think, so far. He's been an assist machine in this new role where he's more of a number 10 for France.
Yeah, I think the goal scoring is still to come. So I think this is like 60% club and 40% country, how I sort of have this balance. And then number 1 is Mbappe. Mbappe, I think coming into the tournament, I had ranked 8th. I had him 8th on my Ballon d'Or ballot. I was not a fan of what he did this season for Real Madrid. There was a reason. Fans know best. And when the fans are so out on you that there's the petition, there are the whistles, there is obviously all the issues. I think he took a vacation while he was dealing with an injury. There was this feeling that Real Madrid have gotten worse since he got there, which is shocking. But you see at this World Cup what he is capable of and what his ceiling is, and his ceiling is still right up there as very best player. And I think he's going to end this tournament on double-digit goals. I think they're going to continue to advance. And this is, for me, as much about my projection of France winning it all, winning the World Cup, Mbappe being the one leading the way. That's why I have him number 1. It's more of a projection than it is about what he's done so far in the totality of his resume. I'm frustrated with what we saw at club level, but you see a spark. You see an explosiveness when he plays for France that I don't see often enough for Real Madrid, but still, I think France are on their way to winning it, and he's on his way to winning this award.
I think he has a new type of swagger with him in this World Cup. Even this facial expression, where he's just kind of swearing off anybody that's doubted him, doubted the team. You can do whatever you want if you're
Paraguay. The entire nation of Paraguay.
Exactly. We have some comments here. Woody, please tell me this is rage bait. Kane only at number 5. What does Kane have to do? LOL.
Yeah, this sounds like something I would have in my WhatsApp chat. This is our producer, Brees, by the way.
Forget Mbappe. Kane was the best striker in the world the last season. His numbers were astronomical. So I think there's a shout there that Kane could be elevated, especially with the kind of striker that he is.
He's a great player.
So much more than just a number 9, isn't he? He's a number 10, he's a number 9. He plays 2 roles at once.
He also defends.
In terms of what he has to, the question is, what does he have to do?
He's got to win.
Be the best player on the team. That for me is the feeling. Messi, without Messi, Argentina does nothing. Without Erling Haaland, Norway does nothing. Without Mbappe, France will still be decent. I just love Michael Olise. That's just my personal bias. Yeah. But I think Jude has been the inspirational leader of England, not Harry Kane. The numbers look great. What's up?
Where's Jude on your list?
Well, he had a pretty miserable club season. So I would honestly, he's here. He's 7.
He's 7? Hey, last one. Where's Dembele, though? Reigning Ballon d'Or, he just came off a hattie.
Not had a very good World Cup. I think he was pretty overrated for where he was in his club season as well.
Well, we have another comment here. Oh, it just went away. Well, we'll bring it back. Let's bring in Buckets. He's in studio. We've got a really tall studio today.
Speaking of Haaland, this is Haaland 2.0. Yeah. What an imposing figure.
Another Viking came in.
That looks accurate.
But Buckets, how do you feel, first of all, about Witty's list, and who do you think's actually going to take the Ballon d'Or?
I like Whitty a lot. I think he's a fantastic human being, a wonderful person.
Here comes the insult.
But kind of just from a betting perspective, being the betting guy, we're way off from what we're looking at the actual odds here. Harry Kane
you're totally wrong.
Is not. No. He's not wrong. I'm just saying that the books have Harry Kane as the favorite. And when you're looking at a World Cup year, it's kind of messy, for lack of a better word. Haha, I know. But ultimately, what you're betting on is who's going to win the World Cup. Because whether it's fair or not, you already talked about this, Matteo. Whatever country wins, the World Cup winner or the Ballon d'Or winner is going to be from that nation. If England win and Harry Kane continues to score how he's scoring, it makes sense that Kane wins the Ballon d'Or, especially with the season as Bayern Munich. Kylian Mbappe, if France win, who are the heavy favorites, plus 160 now. I gotta believe it's going to be Mbappe with how he's playing right now.
How is Kane favored above Mbappe?
I think that's crazy because
you're saying England is going to win the World Cup. If England go out in the quarterfinal to Norway or in the semifinal to Argentina, there is no chance that he's winning the Ballon d'Or.
Agreed.
No chance.
Agreed.
Especially because Bayern didn't win the Champions League.
Smart money. smart money, I only see 2. 1 and 2. That looks terrible to me.
I wouldn't play it at plus 300 for Harry Kane. I think that's an outrageous number. I'm with you, Lionel Messi. If Argentina win the back-to-back, it doesn't matter what kind of season he's at in MLS, whether you believe in the narrative, it's going to be him.
Especially with the level of performance, right?
Especially with all the goals. I wish Michael Olise was higher. I think, as a Bayern Munich fan,
Yamal makes absolutely no sense.
Shouldn't be on the board at all.
No. Out of the quarterfinal of the Champions League has, I think, been pretty bad at this World Cup so far. I don't understand how he's 5th.
The only argument I'd make for kind of a weird one, if Norway win, that's going to be a big jump from plus 1,100. I think you got to consider Haaland, but that might be the one guy where even if they win, it's not a guaranteed Ballon d'Or.
They would have had to have won the Premier League or the Champions League.
They would have had to do more, absolutely.
He'll have to go all the way.
No, if Haaland and Norway win the World Cup, it would be one of the most astonishing World Cup victory ever. I think
absolutely.
It has to be Haaland.
Absolutely.
Right, well, only time will tell. Everybody stick with us. We're taking a quick break. More footy on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game, change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And the first Spanish woman to score 30 Women's Champions League goals. It's opening up here for Barcelona. Alexia Putellas.
Barcelona regain their lead, and it's Alexia Putellas. And it's there to be turned in. Alexia Putellas with her second in the semi-final. Destined for another Champions League final.
This is Alexia Putellas. They call her La Reina, the Queen, a 4-time Champions League winner, a 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, and the first Spanish woman ever to lift the award. A World Cup champion with Spain in 2023, and one of the greatest players the women's game has ever seen. So everybody, with that, we welcome in the newest signing for the London City Lionesses, Alexia Putellas, alongside the club's owner, Michelle Kang. Girls, thank you so much for joining us today. You're both looking amazing. Alexia, congratulations congratulations on the newest signing. I can't wait to speak to you, ladies. We're really excited to interview you. Alexia, I have to start off with you, because the last time we spoke to you was when you won the Women's Champions League with Barcelona. You came to our desk and I asked you, what does the future look like for Alexia Putellas? And you said to me, I want to enjoy the summer and then we'll chat. Well, you've clearly chatted with Michelle Kang, and you're the newest signing on this London City Lionesses team. How excited are you to go over to England and join this project Michelle Kang has going on?
Hi, of course, I'm super excited. Today would be an amazing day, busy day too. Yeah. But yeah, just enjoying the moment. And as I said, I went to holidays. I went for holidays. I have fun, and then I take a decision. And here I am, super excited and very grateful.
Alexia, how did you know that it was time? You've spent your entire career with Barcelona, 14 seasons, 4 Champions League titles, 2 Ballon d'Ors. Why was now the moment to leave and go to London City?
You know, in my opinion, there's always, unfortunately or fortunately, a beginning and an ending, and I felt that it was the moment. I won everything, and I was really happy, but I felt like my moment was the last season in Barcelona, and yeah, I want to change, I want to improve, I want to challenge myself, and that's why I moved to London City.
And Michelle, a reason why signing the biggest name in women's football, it requires little explanation, doesn't it? But tell us how yourself and the club got to this point to signing Alexia.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in women's football, how can you not have a dream to have her play for one of your teams in your hometown and so forth? And I think that WSL, which is already the most competitive league in Europe, but I thought that we could bring really the top talent to England and really revitalize and bring more excitement, because one of the things that we have to do, we meaning all the women, all of us in women's sports, is to expand our fan base, bring more people to the stadium to get to appreciate what a great sport this is, not in comparisons to men's team, but on its own. This is a very serious, fiercely competitive and compelling entertainment both on and off the product. And I couldn't think of a better player who can play that role for all of us than Alexia. It's a very easy pursuit in terms of thinking about that solution.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to sign Alexia Putellas, one of the world's best footballers, of course. But Michelle, I always say, whether we're on this show or a different one, I aspire to be like you when I grow up, and you're truly changing the landscape of women's football. And I want to know, what can the fans expect, not only in the WSL, but for London City moving forward with Alexia being part of the project?
Yeah, so it's going to be very electrifying, right? I mean, I think you are more used to NWSL team environment, and I think you heard an expression, rowdy outy, at the Washington Spirit team situation. So I want to replicate. I mean, it's going to be unique to WSL, unique to South London, and Alexia, along with the other players, are going to create a comparable environment. I don't know whether it's going to be rowdy, outy equivalent, something different, but it's the kind of environment that fans have a FOMO environment when the Spirit plays. And if they can't come, they worry that a lot of great things are going to happen when they're not there. So we're absolutely investing not only for the players and the coaching staff and the training center, but in terms of fan engagement, so that the fans can come and really appreciate the incredible product that we're going to put on the pitch.
And Alexia, when you were at Barcelona, look, it felt like you were winning Liga F every season. You were contenders every season for the Women's Champions League. Now you're at London City Lionesses. It's their second season in the WSL, and they're looking to qualify for the Women's Champions League for the first time ever. What are your goals individually and also with your new team this upcoming season?
Okay, I always want to win everything, so I know I'm moving to the most competitive league. That's what makes me more happy, that I will have to compete every week, every game. So that's why this is one of the reasons too for this movement. But yeah, my goal is always to win everything, the games, even the trainings. So that's my mentality, and that's what I want to do here.
Michelle, what about your expectations? The team finished 6th last year in its inaugural season, but what are you looking forward to this season and just looking into the future?
Yeah, I want them to go all the way, right? I don't think that there's only one model that a women's team has to be independent, but you know we're making history here, right? We're the only independent women's team in WSL, and I think there are a lot of concerns and some criticisms about that, but I want to prove that multiple models can exist, and especially independent team, women-only team can compete against very well-resourced our opponents, all other teams that are part of men's teams. So I want the team to go all the way, compete, and my job is to provide all the necessary resources and provide the infrastructure in which they can really thrive and competitively compete against traditionally the top 3-4 teams. So I want to see them thrive.
Yes, definitely. Alexia, I'd love to know what your summer has looked like, really, because we all know you grew up a Barcelona fan. You told the media before you used to grow up going to Camp Nou, watching games with your dad. What was it like when you told the family your news you're going to move to London?
Of course, I'm looking forward to meet all the fans on the stadiums, on the game. So I promise I will give my best to give them all the entertainment, all the passion, all the joy, and I'm super committed with that.
Are you excited to move to London?
As always.
A bit of a different weather change from Spain.
Sorry?
London is a little different, right, weather-wise and otherwise.
Really?
Yeah. It's not sunny Barcelona.
No, more or less, it's the same weather, same food. Okay, no, everybody talk about London very good. I've been several times there, so I'm looking forward to know more about the city. But yeah, the first thing is to play and win, and then if I have some free time, I will visit the city.
Alexia, we know that you have some former teammates that also play in the WSL. Have they given you, or has Michelle given you maybe any advice or recommendations moving to London?
Yeah, of course.
What were the recommendations?
You have some recommendations?
Alexia and I have some things in common, like our passion for women's sports, women's football, growing this sport together. I think her competitiveness, her spirit to win all those things, I think that's second to none, but I'm very competitive. So we have a lot of things in common. But as far as, restaurants, culture, all those things are concerned, I do think there is a generational gap. I'm very old, so I'm not sure whether what I can recommend to her is going to suit her. So I'm going to leave that to her peers and her coworkers and players to make the right recommendations so that she can enjoy the life in London.
Well, Hannah might be able to give you some as well. We know that she's from England.
Yeah, well, I'll have to have a think and get back to you, Alexia. But here on CBS and Paramount Plus, we do have WSL rights this year, so we're so excited to watch you take the field in London, Alexia. And Michelle, thank you so much for joining us as well. Lovely to chat to you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. See you every weekend.
See you every weekend. Okay, then, everybody, you can watch the WSL here on Paramount Plus starting next season. We are going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy. We've got much more coming up on the other side.
the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back into Morning Footy. Time for Whiteboard Wednesday. We are very comfy, cozy here because we have Buckets in to put his drawing skills to the test.
Strong, this guy.
What are you?
What? No, just couldn't. I went like this. All I felt was like metal, sheet metal. Unbelievable.
All right, Buckets, how are your drawing skills? Are you a bit of an artist, or are you better at betting than you are with drawing skills?
I hope I'm better at betting. This is going to be. I will say, I watch Whiteboard Wednesday all the time. A lot of times people just write out their answers in letters, so I can cop out to that, I guess.
Yeah, you definitely can.
I'll be taking that approach. I'll be taking that approach.
If you feel like you want to put a little drawing in there, go ahead. That's why I've given you multiple colored markers. All right, so let's start off. Our first question is, this is an easy one, no drawing here. Write the percentages that the World Cup is coming home for England. It's coming home.
They're more red, right?
Cue the music.
I can't tell if this is being too kind to them.
Wow.
Because France exists.
Oh,
they might beat Argentina.
I went a little lower.
I'm saying 8.791%.
What kind of cryptic number is that, Chris? Why?
That's specific.
We just show we all check.
Yeah.
Zero.
They're not getting past Norway, so it doesn't even matter.
Not getting past Norway.
No, Holland, are you kidding me? No
you
chance.
have Norway going.
Big goose egg. Big goose egg.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm saying
I
low.
went 15%.
I mean, look, I guess if you say every team left has a 12.5% chance, if we're just sort of going evenly, some teams more favored than others. But yeah, I would say less than 20%.
Look at Poindexter over here with the math.
You're kind. You're kind, I would
Doing
say.
all sorts of calculations.
Even if England were to get to a final, you wouldn't give them more than a 20%?
No. This is now because they still have to get through Norway. They have to get through Switzerland and Argentina.
But
and
if
France.
they get to the final,
I think it's 60-40
your
France,
percentages
England.
go up.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it goes up double, 40%.
I thought this is just from where we are right now.
Yeah, it is.
Claudia, you're overcomplicating this. Whiteboard Wednesday, it's all about the vibe.
I just want to push you guys a little bit more.
Much into the weeds.
All right, let's do the next one. The question is, what star was the biggest disappointment of this World Cup? You guys, if you please feel so inclined,
I need
a nice little drawing.
I don't even want to draw his face right now.
Which star player was the biggest disappointment of this World Cup?
Pulisic.
I mean,
he finally played in his best position. He didn't play there all season long. He was really poor for Milan. Scored 1 goal since December. We finally see him at left wing where he can cut in on his right. He had, one good half? He was pretty good against Paraguay where he caused a bit of danger. But then after that, I didn't get the the Captain America performance at home, and then he limps out like that. The post-match interview, it all just went downhill fast.
Anybody else have Pulisic? You guys can all turn.
I do.
Luis Diaz,
Captain
Cristiano
America.
Ronaldo, Captain America. Look at that.
I drew a
right.
shield. It was
You know what that
nice.
looks like? That looks like the ball from Toy Story.
Did you keep the 0 from before and just like went into it?
I'm going to add to everything I do here.
Very meta.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Looks like a lot of different things, by the way.
Ronaldo?
Yeah, CR7. I mean,
I like that one.
The expectation is for him to lead the line, and the expectation was for Portugal to win the World Cup, which a lot of people said that they could have done at the start of this thing. I think he's the reason why they didn't.
Yeah.
I think he's a singular reason why they didn't perform better. There were other players that didn't perform well, but it all starts with Ronaldo.
Is it a red
and
card when he starts?
The ego trip that this was for him. This is all about catering to one player.
Yeah, I like that. Someone agreeing with you that Ronaldo also as well. And then you put Diaz.
I have
That's a good shout. It's a good shout.
I have Diaz. I think after the season he had with Bayern Munich, I expected a lot more. When you're representing your country, you're going to a World Cup. I just wanted more in the attack. Yes, he's a workhorse. Yes, he's going to do everything defensively that he can, but they needed goals. They needed a goal scorer, and he just didn't step up when they needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get through because they didn't finish chances. And I think Diaz, the fact that he didn't really produce much of anything for them, other players in that team played better than him.
The only thing about your Ronaldo shout, and I agree with it, he was a disappointment. How many people were expecting things of him? Because even back home in Portugal, there was a debate that was almost 50-50 about whether or not he should start to begin with. So it feels like a lot of people kind of saw this coming, and that's why they were saying, no, you're better off the bench.
I'm only judging him against the rubric of the fact that he clearly asked to play all 90 minutes. He only got subbed off once in the game against Croatia. And if you're on the field and you're leading the line for Portugal and that team, you have to be expected to do great things.
Yeah. All right, next question that we've got. Your ideal replacement for U.S. men's national team head coach if Mauricio Pochettino leaves?
I drew a different one already, so I'm going to erase this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to erase.
I was very proud of this one.
Don't erase the circle. I thought you were going to keep the circle going this whole time.
Find ways to continue making.
I would love to draw. I'd love to draw it, but I don't want to be offensive.
These aren't. I know. I'm not giving you questions that you can really draw.
You've also misspelled that.
A C, right? There's
a C there before the S.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. So here's the word.
Home.
I just want to say before people yell at me, the question is ideal.
Ideal replacement.
Ideal.
Are you saying Jesse Marsh is not ideal?
Is doing a lot of work here.
I'm going to go with
Garrett Southgate.
Jimmy
Our very own
Conrad.
Jimmy Conrad. Ideal means also like even give it a 1% realistic shot.
Well, and I'm doing this too because I need to be on his good side because I owe him a tattoo right now. So I'm hoping if I suck up to him a little bit on the show, he'll be nicer to me.
Can you imagine that and Jimmy coming out with the American flag tied around him and the USA
That would be
socks
the most
like he did?
hyped team ever.
That is the hype that they need.
He can't hurt me.
That's it. All right, Southgate, how about that shout?
I'm honestly not convinced that Poch is going to leave at this point, but I think that this team needs somebody that has done it at the highest level and can instill a culture that I think we've talked a lot about the culture of this U.S. men's national team. I actually don't think it's that great, especially looking at that last team. You're defined by the moments when things aren't going well, and they clearly crumbled. So somebody that can ride those waves, and I think an experienced coach like Southgate that's been there and done it.
Yeah, and then Pep Guardiola? You think
I mean, he's available. He's a free agent. Loves living in the United States. He can say, go live in New York City. He took his year's sabbatical in between Bayern and Manchester City and New York City. Why not? Every team that has a vacancy, this is your first call.
Yeah.
You say, Pep Guardiola, make him say no. Make him say no. And if he says no, then we're on to the less than ideal. But if we're saying ideal candidate, why not Pep Guardiola?
All right, well, the last one that we have, Buckets, you spoke about having to get on Jimmy Conrad's good side, and there's a very good reason for that because you lost a bet to him and Tony Miola, saying that Bosnia was going to beat the USA. So you put a tattoo on the line, so I need you guys to draw the tattoo that you think that Buckets should get after losing this bet. Buckets, you're drawing your own. I'm not sure what you guys think.
What was that again? If you thought Bosnia was going to beat
the U.S.
Yeah, I said Bosnia would get past USA, which
they did not.
Did not.
Wow, how do I draw this?
I'll go first if that works.
Let's see what kind of tattoo you're willing to get. What is that?
This is Tony with his mullet.
Those are ponytails.
That looks like Claudia right now.
That looks like me.
This is my Claudia tattoo.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Well, let me fix it. Give me a second.
I was just saying, the mullet, you need like straight down. What is that? That looks like Hulk. That looks like Hulk.
You don't think it's accurate? Tony back in the day? Have you seen?
I've seen Tony back in the day. And that's spot on.
I love how you guys are all drawing Tony. Where's Jimmy in the conversation? And Jimmy has to be.
I'm no artiste, but I also Tony.
Okay, the side.
The hair is flowing.
The side angle was the move.
I know. Look at that nose curve.
Tony has a beautiful profile.
We had to give him his built. He doesn't have a 20-pack, but.
Oh, he did.
I've gone for some kind of facsimile of their jerseys, right? Miola won, Conrad wore 12.
That's what Buckets needs to tattoo
they're
on
jerseys.
it?
They're national team jerseys.
We got the mullet really well.
Is it their names too, or just 1 and 12?
We did.
Yeah, there you go.
I went with
Miola
low
won, Conrad
mullet.
12. I ran out of space.
All right, so Buckets, if you had to choose between one of the four, which one would you get?
Who are you going with?
Which one would you get?
Whichever one's easiest to cover up in about 3 months. I'll go with Woody's there. That was nice of me.
What's easier, to get it covered or to get it removed?
Getting covered, absolutely.
Yeah, removal is a tough process.
Painful.
Very painful.
All right, so that means being even more careful with whatever tattoo you do end up getting.
My goodness.
We're going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coverage coming up on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy, 48 Nations, everybody. Time for the best bets with Buckets. Buckets, do you like your little graphic here? Production made it specially for you.
That's so nice of you guys. Hannah, I'm excited for this because I've been lucky. When you and I have done bets together, they're always hitting. So I'm glad it's just us here, and we'll see if we can carry that momentum.
Great stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. So there's no games today, but you have got some bets going forward into the quarterfinals, haven't you?
Correct. We're going to take a little preview look at some of these matches and just a little early betting edge that we can get on some of these. So I've got 3 bets for us all, one on 3 different matches. I'm going to start with Norway versus England. This is the kind of match you don't want to overthink. I do not trust either of these defenses. And we have seen Norway hit both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in every single one of their World Cup games. So I love getting that at plus numbers, plus 110. Argentina versus Switzerland. We talked about this a little bit with Switzerland and Colombia. The reason why Colombia just couldn't win that game is they didn't have that attack. They didn't have that number 9 to carry this team. Argentina has that number 9. They've got Messi in the 10th. I mean, this team is just loaded with good attackers. I've got no doubt that they can get 2 goals against Switzerland here. A team that defensively hasn't been great. They've been relying on their attack to get them through here, minus this last game. But I expect Argentina to get at least 2 goals in this game at plus 100, and they might only need 20 minutes again to get that done. And bet number 3.
I was just going to push back on the Switzerland-Argentina one. You're not a bit worried about Switzerland's defence? We saw the 0-0 draw against Colombia yesterday.
We did see that. I'm not concerned. I feel like it was a bit of an off game for both teams in that matchup, and I just think Argentina, whether you want to bet in the narrative or not, they're going to be too good.
They're going to be getting goals.
They're going to be getting goals.
Nice, okay.
And then bet number 3, this is a bit of a tricky one because this is probably the closest match for me in terms of picking a winner. I understand France have been incredible. They've been unstoppable, but Paraguay showed that you can kind of play them tough, and Morocco's going to play them tough. So I'm kind of going off a weird narrative here. Morocco to score in the second half at plus 150. I believe this first half is going to be slow. It's going to be cagey. Teams kind of getting, figuring each other out a little bit. Maybe France go up 1-0 in the first half, but I don't think Morocco score in the first half. They're going to be forced to make something happen in this final 45. So I like this again, getting plus number on all of these, which is always my goal here.
Lovely stuff. Okay, so these are your quarterfinals bets. You've got some parlays for us?
I do have a parlay for us,
Lovely.
And this is just the world's chalkiest parlay, but I feel like it's something you got to take, at least a sprinkle, just a cup of coffee on this bet. We're going with Messi to score, Mbappe to score, Kane to score, Haaland to score. It is the least creative parlay imaginable, right? We're just taking the 4 guys that are consistently performing to once again perform on the big stage. You're getting that at plus 1,800. That means if you bet $10 on this, you win 180 back.
Ooh.
Would you change anything here, Han, or do we think this is kind of, I know it's boring, but the smart way to play goal scorers?
I think that's a good one. Messi scored in his last game.
Messi scored in every game.
Yeah, Mbappe scored in his last game?
Last game, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Haaland scored. Kane
also scored.
Oh, Kane
against Mexico
scored. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There's so many games going on. No, this is great. Really good. Say if we took one person out of it, would the odds go lower?
They would go lower, and if I had to remove someone, I would remove someone from this, either Kane or Haaland, just because you're taking 2 guys in the same game. Yeah, so it's just kind of a safer way. But also, all of these by themselves, every goal scorer is plus money right now going into the quarterfinals. So if you don't like the parlay and you just want to take one, you're still getting good value on it.
Okay, then. You're not going to put any bets on today? You can't really, can you?
Not really.
No, you have to wait till tomorrow for the quarterfinals. All right, then, everybody. What are you going to do if you're off day? No football today.
You what?
No football today.
There's Champions League qualifiers if you want to bet on the Kazakhstani teams, but
all right, we'll
a little different than the World Cup.
We'll talk about that in the break, everyone. See you after this quick. Come on.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back in. Well, the top goal scorers coming into this World Cup continue performing game in and game out. So Kylian Mbappe right now has the best odds to win Golden Ball, currently at plus 160. Not too far behind is, of course, Lionel Messi at plus 175, then Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, Michael Olise, and Jude Bellingham. These stars cannot stop scoring. There are so many reasons, Whitty, why we could say that this World Cup has been one of the best ever in history. For so many reasons. It feels like the gap is closing between all the competition. These guys can't stop scoring. Do you feel like this is maybe the best ever World Cup in history? Am I crazy to even bring that up?
No, I don't think it is. I think everyone's favorite World Cup is the World Cup when they didn't have any responsibility and they just could, you know, at 22 years old, watch every game. For me, that was Brazil. I loved Brazil. That was a fantastic World Cup. But yeah, I mean, this has been absolutely fantastic. Just in terms of every single day, there's a new banger. There's a new game of the tournament. There's a new game that a number of people that I follow on social media that don't normally watch this sport are like, why haven't I been watching this? This thing is amazing. And that, for me, is why I feel so great about it. Obviously, there are just going to be more goals of all kinds, but stoppage time goals have been fantastic. The comeback from Argentina, the amazing goal from Cabo Verde. There'll be so many moments we'll go back and, oh my God, remember that? Oh my God, remember that? It is nonstop. That's because the World Cup is awesome. But I think the reason why this feels special is because of the number of people in my life and the number of people that I want to watch our games when it's not the World Cup, that I want to watch this sport. I've started to take it in and realize how absolutely fantastic it is.
Sorry.
No, go.
Now, well, I was just gonna. I got questions. I got questions all around. Well, no, Darian, I was gonna ask. Obviously, coming into this tournament, the fact that it was expanded from 32 to 48 teams caused a lot of controversy. We thought that maybe games would be a bit diluted. It is, in my opinion, the complete opposite. I mean, I don't know if you think FIFA maybe got it right with expanding this tournament.
Yeah, we can say FIFA got this one right. This one right. No, I've absolutely loved the expanded tournament. I think it's been an incredible opportunity. We're seeing players and federations and countries absolutely come and exceed all expectations. And I think for what this means for the future of not just the game in the U.S. and the new fans, and I can echo that, so many people around me are now interested in it. And I'm like, where were you when I was playing? But that's another story. But I just absolutely loved it for what this means, especially on the men's side for global football. I think it's just going to continue to get better and better.
It's been a huge success. Stadiums are packed. There was all talk, oh, the stadiums are going to be half empty. The stars are shining. What Haaland's brought, what the fans have brought from Scotland to Mexico, dancing with Korean fans, and just there's so many moments that have gone viral for the right reasons, and everyone here. Oh. Your chain is on your mic.
Is that what I was hearing in my ear?
Say, what's going on? I thought I was hallucinating. There's so many moments that, and the people who are coming to this country, and they said, in my country, all I get are negative headlines. But if you actually go around, walk around the States, meet Americans, Americans are friendly, they're welcoming. We feel like we're having a great time here. It's a beautiful country. So we're finally getting a little bit of good PR for the States just because of the people. Forget the politicians. Yeah. The people of this country right now have done a great job at welcoming in all these different ethnicities and everyone who's come here has had a good time from what I've seen. It's been brilliant for them.
Well, Darian, the party doesn't stop because next summer, what do we have going on in Brazil?
We got the Women's World Cup,
baby.
Yes, we
do. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick quick break here on Morning Footy. More Golazo Network coverage coming up.